Welcome to the Speaker's Practice and our Friday Forum. Hi, I'm Adrienne McLean, the founder of the Speaker's Practice. The Friday Forum is for business people. I interview business professionals on all sorts of topics. The aim is that this forum is to discuss ideas and practical ways that you can use to promote your business, as well as hear real-life examples of a wide variety of business tools. With the marketing system I follow, Book Yourself Solid, our Friday Forum is a always have something free to offer event, so potential clients can get to know you. This is our second year now, and I'm thrilled to get back into the swing. We have specialists in their fields speaking on a wide variety of topics to help business professionals. Today we have the beautiful Hazel Theocharous in Sydney and moved to London. Hazel has been a presenter at the Business Speakers Forum, and we're thrilled to have Hazel with us for our Friday Forum. Hello, Hazel.
Hi, Adrienne.
How are you going there?
Oh, I'm good. It's warming up in London.
Oh, that's good. Hazel has a background working with small business for over 20 years. Hazel now trains small business owners in all areas of office management, marketing and systems. Hazel trains small business owners globally, online or in person, and offers training in the following areas of social media platforms, blog post writing, creating newsletters, WordPress website creation and updates, and email management. Hazel's background and passion ally completely with all small business owners, and Hazel's experience has included as a radio host of Small Business Show and co-author of many small business books. Hazel is the author of a series of 6 business books now. Hazel, as a small business owner, wants you to feel empowered. Wow, Hazel, you've got a lot on your plate there.
I know, when you say it like that, it's hard for me to believe that I've done all that.
Well, it does sound very impressive. So today is all about creating systems to maximise profit, and systems are so important in a business, aren't they?
They absolutely are. Businesses, it doesn't matter what aspect of your business you're talking about either. Every single part of your business should be systemized in such a way that it, creates a business flow. Systems should be automated so that you then have an ease of training new staff, of moving into franchising maybe when you expand your business. I know a lot of us would love to do that eventually. It also protects your business branding. So, if you have a system in place that's solely and wholly yours, then you add that to your branding, and that becomes something that belongs to you and only you. Because obviously each business owner is different, and we all have some way different to handle our situations. It may be that we only deal in products, and maybe that we only deal in systems. So your services. So the way that you deal with your services or products, it will be different. So it leads to the way that you look after your branding. And as I mentioned, it also helps. It's important for franchising. Like, for example, if you're a business and you think, right, I could now franchise my business into, let's say if you're in Australia, you can now franchise it around Sydney and then maybe expand it. But if you don't have all your systems in place, there's no way that you can then start franchising it out.
Okay.
It also allows business owners to delegate and also outsource and and ultimately take time out of their business.
Right. So that's why systems are so important to businesses.
Yes.
So that's why systems are so important to businesses.
That's right. There's a lot of other reasons as well that can crop up through the time, but they're the main ones for small business owners to think about.
Right, okay. So there's branding and
well, there's branding, sort of delegation, outsourcing, the ease of transitioning from one staff member to another, for example. There's the ability just for a business owner to then take time out which
Right.
is something important to all of us, because how many of us actually take time out of our business and feel confident about it?
So that leads on to the next question. What parts of a business need systematizing?
Okay, well, Adrienne, I would suggest that every part of your business does. And the reason I say that is because if you want to say delegate or outsource an element of your business, it might be that you need to tell them how to train a new staff member. So you've got a manager and somebody underneath them, and then a junior starts. It allows every single element of your business to just be on paper in front of them, and they can learn from that. It also means that your rules, your policies, your procedures, let's take policies for example. Every business should have some sort of a policy, whether it's a recruitment policy, whether it's how you handle your staff, whether it's how you handle your clients. There's a policy in place for that, and so even that needs systemizing, because you sort of say to yourself, right, I know how to do this myself, it's in my head, but if it's only in your head and then you get sick, how does anyone else know how to run your business? So your values, your business vision should also be in that part of your systematizing. So you've kind of gone, right, I know what my values are, but I need to write them down so that everyone else knows what they are. Also, setting up your accounts. I mean, we all sort of flinch when we say, oh my gosh, I've got to send this stuff to the accountant. So if you've systematized what you have to do in your business for that particular element of your business, then it just flows. Everything, you know what the system is. And if, say, for example, you only do it once a quarter, it doesn't matter because it's all automatically there written down. When you set up your online marketing, does everybody know how to do that? So you say, for example, you write it down exactly how you do your Facebook. So you might sort of say to yourself, right, twice a day I'm going to do my Facebook, or I might set it up in the morning to go twice a day. All of that needs to be put into systems and procedures for your business. And as I said before, each business is a bit different, but once you work out what your system is and your routine, then that should be documented.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes, it does. I was involved with a quality assurance implementation, and that was a huge undertaking for a corporate business. But for a small business, it still seems a huge undertaking. So I'm just wondering, and our next question is, what are the steps for creating systems for a business?
Yeah, and as you said, for small businesses, this can actually seem like it's too daunting to start, and so you kind of go, I just don't want to even go there. Why
Yes.
should I? I might be one person just working from home. Why do I need to set up any systems? I know what they are. I mean, a couple of examples that I can give you for that, for example, is there's a client recently sort of said, right, they make upholstery and they do curtains and blinds and things, and he knows everything. It's in his head. He doesn't know no one else can go in and even go to the first meeting because every step that he does is in his head. So if he's sick or he wants to go on holidays, no one else can actually look after his business while he's away. And so that is one of the biggest reasons for a business owner, however small you might be, to sort of say, right, if I want to take time out of my business and I want to employ someone else, whether it's outsourced to a virtual assistant, for example, or I want to take on a part-time person, or I want to take on an intern, I need to write the steps down. And although it sounds daunting, it actually isn't that bad, because there are ways to do it which may actually be beneficial for you. And so an example of that might be, you might like to be in front of a camera, and that can be done obviously with your iPad, your iPhone, just on your laptop, or your Android phone, and just sit there and actually video yourself telling somebody what your system is. So, and you don't have to do it all in one go. As you work out what one of your systems is, you say, right, let's say you send a newsletter to a client. Okay, how do you send that? You work out what your procedure is, and then you then document it. So it's not hard to do, but you don't have to do it all at once. So say the next time that you are setting up, you are about to approach a new client. In your head, write down what your steps are about how you approach that client. What is your sales process? And then document it. So as you're doing something that you would do normally, without even blinking, without even thinking, stop. Write down the steps that you take in what you do. And you'll find that you'll slowly build up a manual for your business based on, you just remembering to stop every time you do something new that you haven't documented yet, and just build it up. So for a small business owner, it might take you 3 or 4 months maybe of just doing something when you can, when you remember. What I would say is the best way to do it is to schedule your timetable for your business, and you set aside maybe half an hour a week that just says, right, that half an hour of my time is spent to create one system in my business. And that way it won't seem so daunting because you've actually set aside the time to do it.
Right. Well, I think that's a wonderful idea about using a video or voice recording, and you can actually have that transcribed, and then your system's actually pretty much prepared for you.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I think one thing, Adrienne, everybody's, as I said before, different. So some people prefer to do video. Some people just said, oh, no, it's all too hard. But if you've got your phone and you just record, as you said, your steps into your phone, and you just send them off to somewhere on, sort of Odesk or People Per Hour or something like that, they will transcribe it, you get it back, and you just put it in a folder.
Yes,
so it's actually not that daunting or that difficult. It's just, I think small business owners think that they're too small to have to do it. But if you want someone to, for an example, recently a client went on leave, and that's the first time she'd ever been on leave from her business. And the only reason or the only way she could do that was because she had that system in place for someone to take the phone calls, to send the email, to do those elements of her business, which allowed her to go on a 2-week holiday, because she had written down exactly what the steps were that she would normally do and allowed it to be outsourced. So it's very important for anyone, and she just works from home, so it's only her. So it's really important for people in business just to realise just creating something slowly for them and their business will allow them the freedom, the flow, and the flexibility.
Yes, yeah.
So,
that's great advice, because it is something we all need to do, and a lot of the steps, if we use virtual assistants, for instance, it can save us time and we can focus on other things.
Yeah. But not until you've got the steps that that are part of your business are in place, because then you've got the confidence to outsource it to someone else, knowing that they will follow the steps that you have created, not go off and do what they want to do, but just follow your steps. So that's why it's so important for your business.
Let's move on to how and why do systems make profits for a business?
Okay, well, that's really an interesting question too, because we've kind of gone over why you need to do it, but in terms of, for example, you have a new staff member start. How many, or you want to outsource it to a virtual assistant even, how much time and money and effort does a business owner spend to train that new person? That could be hours of your time. Whereas, say, for example, you have already documented all the systems that you need to outsource or to a new staff member, they can read this manual or they can watch the videos. They know what to do. It takes your time away from that. They can sit and learn it. And then, if they've got questions, they can come and easily ask you, what the answer to something. So it's freeing up your time and it's decreasing expenses in training. So that's one way, which obviously leads to, increased profits. There's also less errors by staff. So one of the things that I've come across, in small business, or even a business owner who might be in a hurry to get something done, and you think, right, no, I know that I put a system in place for this. It might have been something you haven't done for a year, for example, but you've got a system in place. It's less errors. It's increased productivity. It's less not meeting your deadlines, for example, because everything is in there and you have to follow what the system is. And when you say, decreased time, increased productivity, increased efficiency, all of those things lead to profit. So, and also if your time is freed up by somebody just being able to follow your system or your manual and you've outsourced it, for example, it leads to you having more time to go out and say, hello, it's me, do you remember my business, and this is who I am, and promote it again and get extra clients because you've managed to get everything out of your head onto paper or video or audio and outsource and delegate. And although even that sounds daunting to a lot of small business owners because they say, oh no, someone's going to take my business and they're going to run with it and it won't be my business anymore, it's still your business because the systems are yours, the way you do things is yours, and it's just people are following what you've told them to do.
Yes.
So,
well,
does that make sense?
Business owners' time, well, it does, because a business owner's time is valuable, and if they're out and networking, they can't be doing some of the things that need to be done in the office. So they can have somebody else do those things that can be done in the office while they're going out and meeting people and generating leads.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think one of the things that I like to say to people is when you've done or you worked out your procedures or your systems or whatever and you've got them in place, have a look at them and say, right, what is it that I love to do and what is it I don't like to do? What do I know how to do? What do I not know how to do? And then say to yourself, okay, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do my accounts. Then outsource them because it'll free up your time and people will use the procedures you've told them to do. But I think business owners need to start saying that to themselves a bit more. And even if you're a startup and you've only been in business for 6 months, it's still worthwhile getting these things into place and seeing what you don't want to do, because you'll only fret and your to-do list will stay there and it won't move. So it's a case of just using your time to the best efficiency.
So from a virtual assistant's viewpoint, what needs to be in a system?
I think in a system you need to include, like say let's just take an example of you're setting up your accounts to send to your bookkeeper. Let's just say you need to have in place what your invoicing is, what your debtors is, where not only offline but online as well. So let's just say you send out an invoice every fortnight. You need to then say, right, I'm going to do this on a fortnightly basis. So how do I do that? I log into this account. I log into my MYOB or I log into my online Xero or whatever it is, and you need to include your login details. You need to include if it's a new client, how do I actually put that new client into the system? How do I create an invoice based on that client? What do I do with the invoicing when I'm finished? So say, for example, do you send an invoice by email directly to the client through the system? In which case, does it stay in the system or do you save the invoice offline as well? There's a lot of different things and every business is a bit different. So some people would prefer to keep everything up in the cloud and other people would prefer to say, right, no, I need to keep something on my hard drive. So it's a bit tricky in knowing exactly what to include, but what you should include are basically every single step that you do for a new client, for a new invoice. Where do you file it? Do you have it in a sort of in the Lever Arch folder, or do you actually put it into a filing cabinet? And everything needs to be documented so that if somebody walks into your business tomorrow, because suddenly you're sick, they can say, right, here's the folder, okay, this is what they do. And we can see that an invoice needs to be sent today to this new client. How do we do it? So as a virtual assistant, if I was walking into a business, if I had all that information, I could easily invoice out, file it, and that would be finished. So it literally is every single little thing that you do, which can sound really painful, but in actual fact, it becomes you and your business. So and no one else is going to know how to run it like you do.
So how do you think the cloud works here? Do you think that that's really the way that the future is going, for everybody to have their systems up on the cloud, or do you think that they?
Do you know what? I think
copies.
I think it's no matter how much people sort of say we want a paperless office, I don't think that's ever going to work, because people still have hard copies of things, especially in certain industries, obviously. But I would suggest, yes, there are more and more people that are using the cloud to save documents for ease of accessing them wherever they are. So, creating a system where you've used, let's say Dropbox, for example, and you upload all of your files, you upload all your images and all that sort of thing, where you can actually walk to another office and just log in, and there they all are. If you don't have your computer, is a must, I think, nowadays, because a lot of people forget to back up properly. If it's all up there automatically, and I know people have worried about it being hacked and different things, but I think if you've chosen your right username and you've got an amazing password that no one else can ever remember or know, it makes it a lot harder for anything to be hacked into. As for using sort of cloud software in terms of your accounting packages, there's more and more of them, and I know that they're all backed up in 3 or 4 different places around the world. So if something goes down in one country, it's backed up somewhere else. And I think because people are so international now, sometimes it actually makes it easier to have an online accounting package where you can have different currencies working and different things like that. So I think slowly it is just heading to the cloud, whether we all like it or not.
Yes, so it seems to be the way of the future.
I know people don't necessarily want that, but I think that's probably where a lot of it's heading.
Yes. Okay, Hazel. Well, our next question is one that I ask everyone, and that says, as a business owner, what's your advice about promoting your business by speaking?
Okay, well, I mean, when I first started out in business, I wasn't particularly confident in speaking, possibly because I thought that what I had to share was not important, and I think a lot of business owners are like that. They think that, yes, they're in business, but what do I have to share? But in actual fact, we all have a knowledge and we all have experiences and perspectives that others don't. So our skill set might be something that's completely marketing related, or it might be even something that's completely different, like it might be a florist, or you might be a beautician, and you can speak on eyelash tinting or something at conferences or seminars which I wouldn't be able to speak on. So I think when people realize that they have an ability, an expertise and a skill that others don't, then they need to start being a bit more confident and putting their hand up and saying, hey, I can speak on this subject, would you like me to? And it doesn't necessarily have to be at a business function. It might be that you might speak on massage and go to let's say, a retirement village and speak to them about how massage can help rejuvenate their muscles or something. You know what I mean? So it's like once you overcome a fear of what you know and others don't, then it's a great idea to sort of be more confident and say, right, I can do this, and that's what I've done. You know, because when I realised that I've got a great knowledge on systems and time management and outsourcing and different things like that, it makes it a lot easier to sort of put your hand up and say, hey, I can do this. Please give me a chance. And it only, even if it's 15 minutes, it still gives you the ability to promote your business, because at the end of it, you can offer a package, or you can offer a special deal if somebody takes up some sort of massage from you, or for example, if you're a business coach and you offer a specific package, when you go in, you might sort of talk for free for 30 minutes, and then at the back of the hall you might have your book, or you might have a special deal or something, which people tend to take up because they've listened to you and they realise you've got a knowledge and a skill that they didn't know before. So from my perspective, it's like, just you be confident in the fact that you know things that other people don't.
Oh, thank you. That's great advice.
So,
okay, Hazel, well, now's the opportunity to talk about your business and what you're doing with the SME Biz Trainer?
Yeah, so like I'm a small business trainer, and I did virtual assistants for about 8 years after working in administration and office management for about sort of 14 years before that. And then when I came to London, a number of people were starting to say to me, how do you do this? I'd like you to do my newsletter, but I really want to know how to do it. So how do I create it? And then someone else said, well, how do I fix up the back end of my WordPress website? And I kept thinking, oh, okay, well, people are asking me how they do it, so maybe I should start thinking about not doing it for them, but training. And that's how Small Business Trainer was born. And from that, basically, I do, at the moment, one-on-one training sessions. And I either do it obviously in London, in the comfort of their own home, or via Skype, or I guess even Google Hangouts for those that are in Sydney or internationally. And I've done about 2 or 3 different Skype things in the last sort of few months with clients who've sort of said, look, I really am just feeling fearful of starting something new, and I've wanted to do, for example, blogging. I've wanted to write my own blog post now for months, and it's just still sitting there on my to-do list, and I've still not done it because I'm really scared about how to actually start it. And so I took them through how to do that, and the benefit for them is they walk away feeling empowered that they've learned something new, and they walk away with their first or second or maybe even third blog posts ready to be uploaded. And so that's just the blogging, but there's other, the other social media and setting up systems and all that sort of thing I can do, and train you in the knowledge that when you leave, you will feel like so much more competent than when you started or when you came onto the training session. So the results far outweigh the fear that you started with. So, so that's basically what I do. And in London, I also run workshops, but that's so I'm hoping to sort of maybe branch into webinars, but I haven't quite got to that yet. So
well, I think that you've explained it, because people can do some of it themselves, but it's actually where to start and having it all in working order so that they can just go ahead and do it. Because sometimes roadblocks come in the way and it gets all too hard, and they just put their hands up and say, oh, I leave that until something else has happened.
I know, and then it doesn't happen. That's the thing. Then it just sits there and they still panic about it and still worry about it. So
yeah. Oh, well, that sounds fantastic, Hazel. Well, keep us informed about what's available. It sounds wonderful.
I will. So,
okay,
well, thank you for having me, Adrienne, on the Speaker's Practice. It's been fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you, Hazel. This is really creating systems is a real area of importance for small business, and it's been wonderful what you've shared with us today about the importance of systems and how to do it. I love that idea of creating a video on your iPad or and just talking into your phone and just getting it digital in a digital form, and then you can do something else with it so it gets onto paper. So
yeah, exactly.
that's a great advice. So thank you. And thank you to our listeners for our Friday forum for this fortnight, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for now. Bye.